How's it going, everybody? We're starting early. And because of the nature of this topic, let's go and take the chat off the screen because things may come up and we want to keep this professional. This is a very sensitive topic. I mean, you probably expect me to joke around in response to that, but it is a very sensitive topic, very serious topic. We're talking about, well, it's in the title. We're talking about rape. We're talking about how we live in a society where I guess there is some sort of ethics in rape. If I were to ask you, is there ethics? Are there situations or times where it's ethically okay, where it's ethical to murder somebody? You would say, yeah. If I were to ask you, is there a situation or time where if it's ethical to steal from somebody, you might say, yeah. You know, if you I could think of a few situations. But is it ever okay to rape? Couldn't hold it in. That's what I couldn't hold it in. I couldn't. No. Oh my God! I couldn't be serious. Is it ever okay? Is it ever okay? I'm laughing because it's uncomfortable. Of course, it's uncomfortable. That's how I deal with uncomfortable situations. I laugh. It's a defense mechanism. The answer to the question is most likely going to be no. However, it is normal. It seems pretty normal. If you ask, I don't know about normal. It's expected. It's very, very much expected for someone to hope somebody gets raped in prison because they think it's justified and for various reasons. So with that logic, then it does paint the picture. It does point out the fact that I guess there is some ethics to it. I guess there is a time and place where it's okay. Maybe they think they think they aren't really thinking that because they don't I don't know, think it's ethical. I mean, they just think it's just going to happen regardless because in prison, anything goes, right? Is that where we're at? So yeah, in this stream, we're going to be talking about the ethics in rape, and if the way we view prison rape, the way we seem to be tolerant of it, accepting of it, it is just a practical thing. It seems like it happens. It's as if nothing can be done about it. But yet, you have these feminists say we live in a rape culture, yet they don't care at all. Do they care? I don't know if I ever really hear these feminists talk about it. Then again, I don't really pay attention to them. Maybe they do. But, when we laugh at jokes of Hitler being sodomized by a pineapple, aren't we saying that it's actually okay? There's actually times where it's actually okay to sexually assault somebody with a pineapple in the ass, right? That's what you're saying. This is a joke. Just like how it's just a joke how some people want to see someone like Trump raped. But that's just a joke. But okay. And jokes, jokes are there, and I'm not gonna say jokes shouldn't exist and all that. But there are some people with that thought of seeing Trump being sexually violated, really embarrassed in that sort of way, being sodomized by a huge cock. There are some people who have so much hatred for him that they would actually want to see that. They would want to see that happen. So, and with that understanding, with that truth there, because that is true, that really begs the question, so is it ever okay then? Is it ever ethical? I just want to say for YouTube terms of service, rape is bad. Do not rape. It is never okay. That's my stance on it. But What if there's a situation where you had to? You know, what if you were like in some sort of like Saw situation where it was like some sort of contraption and you had to like forcibly, you know, sodomize someone, otherwise the bomb in your neck goes off and you die. Like, are you willing to save yourself? You know, someone might say, no, I wouldn't do it. I'll just let the bomb go off on my neck, like Battle Royale style. But what if there was a Saw situation and they had a loved one, let's say your son or daughter, and they had a bomb on their neck? Would you then do it? You would commit an unethical act, an immoral act, to save the life of someone you love. Would you do it then? I mean, no one would blame you if you did. I mean, some people would. Actually, let's think about it. Some people would. I wouldn't blame you. I mean, I wouldn't even blame you if you valued your own life over somebody else's. I understand that. It's survival. But anyway, let's go ahead. The way we're going to do this is I'm going to open this up for callers, and we're going to treat this topic with, I said professionalism. This is on YouTube. It's not going to be professional, but just be mindful, guys. And let me say, this topic's going to trigger. I should have started that from the beginning. I'm sorry. I'm not very sensitive. Look, I get it. The topic of rape is very triggering. And keep in mind, this does not come from a place of like jokes and laughter and all that stuff. Like, this is important for me because I have been raped. I was 9 when I lost my virginity. My neighbor, I don't want to tell her your age or her name or anything like that. Because I have some weird feelings about it. I'm saying is that at an early age, I stepped into the garden. I was shown the garden. Okay? And my innocence was lost in that garden forever. And it changed me forever. So, let's treat this. What I'm saying is, as someone who's victimized of that, I will try my best to be respectful and mindful of the language. I don't know about the callers that I'm going to bring on. They might be crass. I don't know. But we'll see. If anyone's rude, we'll entertain it, I guess, for a little bit. Someone says, the fuck you streaming during casino? Because we're not talking about Ethan Ralph, and it's something different that the casino would offer. With the casino, you get Kino Casino, you get the same topic, Ethan Ralph, Nick Fuentes. Here we're talking about the ethics and rape. Let's go ahead. I'm going to invite some callers. I don't know what's going to happen here. Maybe someone joins. Maybe someone doesn't. Maybe no one joins. Okay. Let me create an invite. Chat, let me ask you, is it ever justified to rape somebody? I think my position is no. It seems like it would be an obvious position there. But if you think about this, in like some people, if they ask the question, is it ever justified to kill somebody? Well, I can think of situations where there is, like self-defense or revenge, even. But even with that, there are people who are like so like weird about life, not weird, but like pro-life, I suppose, that they will be hung up on that. It'll be like, no one has the right to take the life of another. So no, even in self-defense and revenge, you still don't have that right. Okay. What if it was the rapee doing the raping? What if it was the victim? What if the victim had a chance to get revenge on his or her rapist? I mean, you can imagine the scenario. You could probably imagine it. They got him in a situation. And when I say they got him in a situation, I'm not saying trans. I mean, it could be. We'll be inclusive here. In fact, let's do that for the first scenario to be as inclusive as possible. Let's say in a hypothetical, a trans person who was raped early on in their life, which is why they have this trans issue. It's very complicated, okay? And they finally get a hold of their rapist, and they confront them. And during the confrontation, things get heated, and the victim attacks or assaults the rapist, and during that maims them and commits an act of revenge rape. Is that permissible? Is that ethical? If it's okay, if it's understandable, it seems people tolerate and even sort of celebrate, champion even vengeance or taking the life in self-defense. Why not something as abhorrent as rape? Why not that? Yeah, Courtney, you can hop in for a little bit. Yeah, you hop in. The link works. You call or not. If you don't call, I'll end up playing dominoes with the neighbors. We should all experience creep at least once in our lifetime. I don't want that with anybody, no. I hard disagree, Miss Rage. You do not want to experience it. You do not want to experience it at all. I kind of wish I could go back in time and undo what happened to me, but, you know, it is what it is. And by the way, there's going to be a lot of people who are offended by this topic, offended by the question. I've seen this before. Not the first person to ask this insane question: is it ever ethical to rape someone? Is there ever such thing as an ethical rape? If you ask the question, people say no, and people will be like, "Why are you even asking this?" They look at you like a psycho, complete. Like you're a criminal, like they don't even want to be around you, which I understand. It is a crazy question. All right, we got Tinder. Oh, nope. He hopped out. I guess he has no opinion on this topic. Okay. Yeah, it is. That is sad. Now, some people may not want to associate with me because of liability reasons. Who knows? I might get in a lawsuit. This might be a honeypot to see who in a certain internet sector is pro rape to send the police to their house. There's that, because I am Mr. Fed Man. Keep in mind. Hello, Courtney. How's it going?
Hey.
All right, so yeah, the topic is it ever ethical, or what the ethics and rape. Crazy topic, right?
Yeah. You know, can I just say, I'm on, like, I can't see you, like, on Discord right now.
No, yeah, it's using, my webcam is being used to stream. That's what's going on.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so you won't see me. I can see you. I could put you on the screen if you would like that as well.
No, that's okay. I can live with it.
Okay.
I'm good.
So what are your thoughts on the topic here?
Ethical rape. Well, Well, we
I
talked.
mean, you laughed though. First, let me address that.
Yeah.
Why do you laugh to that question?
Well, because I mean, I just think about marriage. You know, we've talked it like I think Ben and Grace have talked about marriage. Like Ben and Grace say, like you can't get raped if you're married.
Is do you think marriage is rape?
No, no, no. Like if you're married, the point is that you can't. A man, like the husband, can't rape a wife in marriage.
Oh, there's people that disagree with that.
Do you?
I think you can. Your marriage.
Really?
I mean, when I say you, I mean your marriage. In that scenario, it depends on how you look at marriage. If you look at it from a very religious perspective, then I suppose not. But if you look at it as, let's say, the relationship, the marriage has fallen apart so much where they're separated, and the man goes over to where she's staying at because she removed herself from the home, or actually, no, he did. Let's say he was kicked out, whatever. But he goes back home and he force her down and sodomize her. I mean, that would be rape. That would be rape right there, right?
I don't think so.
That would mean you don't think so?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. No.
Okay, now keep in mind, we're seeing this situation. They are separated. She wants to get divorced, right? And
Yep.
he goes over there. He's not even drunk. Okay, he's sober-minded. And he bends her over the table, and he sodomizes her by force. And she's like, no, stop it. And it's painful, okay? Let's make it the most extreme. I'm going to give you the most extreme, which is an easy one. It's painful. Okay. She's crying. She's like, please stop. Please. And there's no lube, okay? And it's bleeding. She's like, stop. Please stop. Okay? Even in that situation, is that rape?
I don't think so because they're still married.
Well, then I would disagree there. But, I mean, they're still married, but, it is what it is. And,
Well, I mean, okay. You're talking about, like, in your title, you said, like, it's celebrated in prisons, right? Like, and you're actually asking the question, like, is it ever okay? Well, if it's going to be okay, it's going to be within marriage.
Okay. Now, if you say it's okay within marriage, are you saying that there is rape within marriage, but it's not considered rape because it's okay?
I'm saying, I think that you cannot rape your own wife.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, if your position is you can't rape your own wife, then there is no rape. Then even like coercing and forcing sexual acts is not even rape. It doesn't even compute, right?
I mean, like you're saying, like rape is just a forceful, like when a man forces himself on a woman.
Well, I'm using one variation of it, yeah.
Okay, but you're actually asking the question. So, like, do you have any like instance when you feel like it isn't rape when a man forces himself on either another man or another woman?
Well, I'm asking because I'm curious because we seem to have this. I say we. I mean, we as society, of course. There's this tendency to be tolerant and seem to be accepting of prison rape, yet still at the same time hold the position that rape is unethical, which I do agree rape is unethical and immoral. But how do we then justify like the idea that, but the prisoners to go there, those dirtbags, those assholes, they deserve it. They deserve it. They deserve what's happening to them. Like,
you know what's actually interesting to me, and just to kind of like change the subject just a little bit, like, do you consider like what happened to you when you were 9? If you've mentioned that like this girl was 15, right? That you had sex
like that.
Yeah. Do you feel like that was rape?
It would be. I mean, I think she might be at the age to where it may not even be statutory, because she should be 15 at the time. I think she might. You know, at that we're so young that I don't know if it would even compute. It would be like, knock it off, kids. You know, don't do that. You know, separate them, whatever. But, I was coerced. I would say it's rape. I would say it's rape for sure. I do feel like it was rape.
Right. Yeah, because when not to get too personal, but like when you talk about it, like it just seems like it was not a good experience, and you know what I mean. Like, I don't know. So like, yeah, I kind of felt like you felt like that, like that this girl did that to you.
Yeah, it was not a joyful experience. I was very confused.
I'm sorry, that sucks. Yeah, I can imagine. All right, well, okay, so yeah, I mean, it's maybe why you're interested in the subject.
Yeah, and also, you know, it kind of worked me as well. I mean, there's other individuals that probably have the same thing where they kind of have like a fetish for it, a kink for it, where they want to be raped, which that opens up a whole other thing, and that's like a dangerous territory. Usually, consenting partners in that will set up some rules beforehand to be clear. Other times not, right?
Right, but I mean, if you set up rules, then it's not really like...
It's not really rape, right? It's like just role
playing.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Well, okay, so to me, I mean, Grace has talked about this, and like, I mean, I think that the truth is that like every girl really kind of wants that to happen to her. What do you think about that?
Well,
every woman.
Is it true for every woman? I do agree that it seems to be a trend.
A what?
A trend, or it seems to be something that a lot of women do share. I don't know if every girl, but I don't want to get into the like hashtag not all sort of thing. Like, I don't want to say every girl or every woman has that fetish, that kink, but yeah, I say a good majority do.
I would say that every woman does. Every woman does.
Well,
and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Because it's like this thing where you could say like, something happened to me that was so awful that I am the complete victim of it, and nobody can question that. And there's something really attractive about that. And you also, you know, get to be raped. So it's like a win-win.
Now, if they want to be raped, then is it unethical then? Because they want it, right? But they just don't tell you that they want it. And that's kind of
right.
It's kind of weird, because if you want it, then it's not. But what? Okay, so what if it catches them by surprise? It was a sexual act, right? And there's some coercion involved. Okay, it wasn't clear about consent when it started, but she enjoyed it and she orgasmed and all that. What about that?
Wait, you're saying there was consent at the beginning, or there wasn't? But
no, the consent was not clear in the beginning. There was no. Let's just say there was no consent in the beginning. It was not like, hey, you want to have sex or anything like that. It was like he just.
Oh. Yeah, that's interesting. Like, right, but well, you know, a lot of times when women are raped, like they feel guilty about having an orgasm, right? They're told like, well, no, like you don't have to like feel like you enjoyed it just because you had an orgasm, right?
Right.
But maybe there's a little bit of a lie there. Maybe what I'm saying is maybe like you actually liked it, and like maybe like, I don't know. I mean, I've never been raped, so I don't know, but like maybe like well, as a man, I think it was different for you. I don't know. I really actually don't understand the dynamics, but I could tell that like it really affected you. But like maybe women are different. Like maybe they actually have a different experience of it. You know, maybe they actually like because.
I think I think the other person just enjoyed, I guess, showing me a lot of things that I was not ready to see or experience. You know, I think that was what was going on there. And she was probably victimized too. She, you know, she's probably a victim, and then she just kind of did the same. And that's what tends to happen, right? Like, I was a victim, and it tends to, like, I wonder if the reason why I'm even having this question is because I was once a victim of this thing. So I have a kind of a weird perspective of it where I don't want to say it's ever ethical. Well, I mean, if you kind of enjoyed it,
but you were a child. You were a child, so she molested you.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so that's not like that. That's rape and molestation. Like, if you have adults, then it's rape.
Right.
Just trying to figure it all out, right? Like, you were molested and raped, and like you're asking the question just about rape. Like, I think with adults it's different, maybe.
And what we mean when an adult
rapes an adult.
Rapes an adult, or an adult rapes a child. Okay.
No. Just when
adult rapes an adult, yeah, that would be different. There would be a difference there.
Right. I don't see. I mean, when you told that story about this girl, I was like, that was not a good thing that you experienced at all. Like, I was just like, that was really not good. And you could say, like, well, you win, you know, you're 9, you get to have sex, but like, I don't think so. It seemed bad to me.
And it's a pretty, you know, graphic situation. I do think it has kind of worked me in some ways. I don't want to have it define me.
Yeah.
But I want to say that I don't think rape is ever ethical. I do question our society's look at seeming to accept and seem to be okay with the idea of, let's say, like prison rape. Man, prisoners, and that's an easy go-to because prisoners go sent to prison for, like, you know, murder, theft. I mean, all sorts of various things. Sometimes like petty crimes, like just like, you know, selling weed. Or at least that was old school. Now weed's legal, right, in various areas. But you know, you could be thrown into the slammer for all sorts of stupid reasons. You know, slinging dope, and you end up being raped by these guys in there. Okay, and it's like no one seems to care. And then at other times, it's like if the person was a sex offender or a rapist, or let's say a racist or something, then it'd be like, oh no, he deserves it. He's a horrible human being. He deserves it. Like if someone like Trump went to jail, you know for a fact that there'd be people who on the left would be like, oh, I hope he gets raped. I hope he gets raped. You know, it'd be like, why are you cheering it on? I thought it's never ethical. I thought it's never okay or moral. So I guess it is okay if that immoral act is, I guess, lesser than the other. Is that how
when you say though that, like, when you hear about like prisoners raping each other, you're kind of like, you know, like there's that kind of like, I don't know how much I care. You know what I mean? Like there's just that natural thing. Like,
that nonchalant.
You think it's a bad attitude or it's just like natural? Like, well, I mean, like this is, you know, these are prisoners. Like this is the thing. Like they're men doing this to other men. Like, what's the, you know, like I'm not going to shed a lot of tears. You know what I mean? Like it just doesn't affect you that much. And like, is that wrong that you're just kind of like, whatever? You know, it's not that you think it's right, but you don't care that much.
I do think it is wrong, and I think that I understand where the lack of care comes from. And sometimes it's hard to really give empathy to those guys because, I mean, they're in prison for various reasons. Why, right? But
yeah,
it's like, they're serving time for what they did, right? Why are we adding like rape on top of that? Why are we adding sodomy on top of that? Like,
well, you can't really prevent it, you know? It's just what you do in there.
If they tried a little bit harder, maybe they could. I mean, but that would be a whole different thing, I suppose. Like,
Well, I mean, these are men in cages. Like, that's just part of the deal, you know? Like, that's how they establish
Then separate them in the
hierarchies. Like,
cage. To split them up.
well,
You
you know,
know.
they find all kinds of ways to like do everything in there. Like, you're not going to stop it. And
And if they're a chronic rapist, if they're a chronic rapist in a jail, then maybe get them an injection that makes it where their dick don't work. I mean, at that point, be like, look, man, because if you're a raping machine,
men are put in cages together, like that's like it seems like an impossibility.
well, it'd be nice if we stopped it. It actually would be nice if we wanted to stop it. We could start there. The fact that there seems to be this lack of concern or lack of empathy is the reason why I'm exploring this question. Is the reason why it seems to be that it does seem to be that there's some ethics in rape. Hey, if it's prisoners doing it, if it's prisoners raping prisoners, who cares, right? It's men raping men, who cares, right?
But that's my point. Like, do you really like care? Like, is it like that's something that like you like as much as you would like in a different situation? Like, that's like you like can you really like bring yourself to like really like empathize and sympathize and like really want to help prisoners, or like is that something that you have to kind of conjure up? And like, I'm not saying prisoners are bad people like altogether necessarily. I'm just saying like don't you have to kind of conjure that up, like that kind of feeling like I actually care about this and not something else?
No, you don't actually have to conjure it up. I don't. Like for me, it's something like I wonder about. It's like, well, maybe it's something that I wish we could address, but we're just not even there yet because it seems this nonchalant attitude towards it is widely accepted. And not only that, but when I say it's celebrated, I mean it's like promoted. It's like wanted. Like there's certain people when they go to prison, it's like they want them to be raped. In fact, they desire that outcome because the state can't do more than what rape can do. You know?
Right. Yeah. I know what you're saying, but like
That's
I think
what's
the question
really
is like
abhorrent to me, is that, and it helped me from like where's that coming from? Like why is it when someone goes to jail? Let's say they're a murderer, maybe they murdered kids. Let's say they're the most extreme example. They murdered kids, and it's like I hope he gets
Yep.
raped in jail. We want him to get raped in jail
right.
as a desired outcome. Like man, I hope he does. Like
Okay, I mean am I crazy for saying like that again, like that doesn't strike me as like the craziest like kind of feeling to have. Like you murdered that kid and like I hope that you get raped. Like there's a certain like kind of natural desire like for that person to experience like more pain than like the state, you know, like can possibly like dole out, like to really kind of be put in that position. Like what's wrong with that?
so, would you say that's an ethical rape?
He raped a little kid, right? Like this woman is, you know, has she's kind of already like degraded and like it just doesn't have the same weight, you know, like as like this is why like some things are more abhorrent than other things, right? Like
Okay, we seem to be good for right now. Okay, that was on my side, my internet connection, as usual. Sometimes it was spazzing out. Um, okay, I literally just unplugged the little Wi-Fi adapter and plugged it back in. Oh my god. Okay, but right now we're good. Upload speed is at like 20. It's dipping to like 19. So it should be good. Should be good. Hopefully refresh. Hopefully people are still here, but probably not because that is technical issues, right? Who wants to watch that? Anyway, you could say it was by force, so it wasn't. I didn't consent to having internet issues or anything. So you could say you can imply a joke there, I suppose. Let's see, where are we at here? All right. So anyone else want to hop in to the VC to share their opinions on this topic. It is a very interesting topic. It's very loaded. We got to be very serious about it, or at least mindful that it is triggering. At least can be. I don't think it's ever ethical to rape somebody, but yet there are some people out there that seem to have no problem with it and say that it'd be, well, they would have no problem with it. They'd be fine with it, actually, which begs the question then, okay, so is there an ethical, are there ethics in that abhorrent act? Because let's go back to the Trump example. That's the easy go-to. There's a lot of people who don't like him. There's a lot of people who don't like him. It's a good-sized population, right? It's a good-sized population. And imagine if, a lot of them will joke around. A lot within that population, a big percentage in that population would joke around and say that, they want to see Trump get raped. And you'd have to, with that joke, then go, okay, it's just jokes. But a small portion of that population, a small percentage, would actually want to see the act. Would actually want to see Trump get raped. So then, is it ever ethical? Like, is it like the act is not as unethical or immoral as whatever they deem, whatever acts the I guess the victim had done prior? Like, let's say, let's remove Trump from this. Let's say there's somebody not even in prison yet. Okay. Okay, this hypothetical is going to be insane. All right. So, how am I going to make this work? Let's say a woman, a secretary sort of job, okay? She was working at this business, at this company for years, and just about once a month, maybe more than that, she would get raped by the boss. It was a lot of coercion going on. She didn't want to do it. She found him grotesque, dirty, smelly, and all that. But she felt pressured, and she couldn't go to HR because it just so happened to be the HR seemed to be in on it too. And then she one day drugs him, gets him in a position, and then rapes him, like sodomizes him with a strap on. Would that be an ethical rape right there? Would that be a revenge rape? Okay, if you have a problem with that, and let's say we go back a little bit and go like, okay, and then the same woman, she's been raped, of course, several months at this job, and she finally snapped one day, and she murdered her boss. And her story on the headlines is, woman murders boss, claimed to be a rapist, had raped her multiple times, coercion, manipulation, all this stuff. There'd be people saying that's justified. Okay, but let's go back a little bit. Go back to the revenge sodomy thing. What if it was a revenge sodomy with a strap on that would murder the guy, would end up killing the guy because it was so big, so massive, and just a lot of blood loss and just blood force trauma right in the ass. And the headlines would be similar: murdered boss, rape victim several times over and over and over again, finally snapped it and murdered the boss, but using a strap-on in the ass. Would that be considered ethical? Would that be? By asking if it's ever ethical, of course you got to ask, what's your Now, what's your moral compass? Like, if you are the type that thinks, it's justified to take someone's life in self-defense or for revenge, or even to avenge somebody if they murder like a loved one of yours, and you want to go on an action movie spree, why would you not? Well, I mean, it's pretty abhorrent, right? It seems like we view a rape worse than murder, worse than death itself, because you have to live with the trauma, you have to live with the horror of it. But I'm looking for a book here. Y'all remember this? The Douchebag Bible by The Amazing Atheist? Y'all remember this book? Y'all probably don't. I bought this book as a joke. I didn't think anything was going to be in it, really. I bought it used. But according to The Amazing Atheist, he sees, he doesn't see how rape is worse than death. At least according, his views might have changed over time. But according to The Amazing Atheist, a long time ago, he was like, death is worse because like you're dead and like you cease to be, But I could be misremembering that too, Yeah, Thorpe, I do apologize for the internet issue. Sometimes, when you bomb your neighbor's internet, that's not even what's happening here. That's just a lore. Devin is babbling nonsense. Courtney, go back. I mean, you could come back in here, and that's fine. And not nonsense. Stay on focus. Stay on focus. Begging for a pagan. Miss Rage, that is inappropriate. That is inappropriate right there. That's why the chat's not on the screen. Was the book before or after he shoved a banana in his ass? That was after, I think, and you could say that he had raped that banana, because I don't think that banana consented, and I think you're supposed to. I don't know how that works. With the topic of YouTubers, let's bring up Ethan Ralph real fast. If Ethan Ralph was raped, not even prison, let's say he was raped. Let's say Ethan Ralph was sodomized in the ass by a pack of black guys. I don't know why I had to be that. But for a fact, like the A-logs, and I guess myself included, as a Mr. Sellout, would laugh at it, would find it funny. Think it's justified. I wouldn't think that, actually. There comes a point where there's too much, But there are definitely some hate watchers some A-logs that would think it's justified and cheer it on. Or maybe they just don't care. There's that too. But he gets what he gets. I guess that's it. It's not really that there's ethics in that abhorrent act of rape. But it's more like, look, if you're going to be an asshole, if you're going to be a shitty human being, a shitty person, then anything that's shitty your way, if it comes your way and affects you, who cares? Who cares? But then I have to ask, so, I mean, if you hold that position, and some may hold that position, right? I have to ask. I have to wonder about your moral compass. I have to wonder about your views on morality, because you'd think at that point it would be justified. And I get where that's coming from. I too sometimes think like that, and we're human. We sometimes do. It's either who cares. I mean, the hypothetical I gave Courtney was getting really crazy. I mean, if there was like let's say, a notorious pedophile from, let's say, Norway, who would like to be a furry, and he sodomized a bunch of kids, and he was like a serial sodomizer. I laugh. That's my way of coping. A serial sodomizer? What the fuck? But let's say this guy in Norway is a serial sodomizer, and he goes to he goes to jail, and he's raped constantly. He's raped almost to death, maybe to death. It's kind of like, well, at that point, who cares, right? He gets what he gets. All the evil, all the hurt he put out there, all the hurt he inflicted on all those people. What does it matter? It's like karma working itself out. So then they go back to the question. And there are times where seems like it's like okay, where it's like understood, where it's like maybe the word celebrated isn't really, well, no, because there are times, let's say here in the news, someone is convicted of some heinous acts towards kids. What do people say? Oh, I hope he gets raped in jail. So it would be celebrated. It would be promoted. It would be something that you would eat. It's like if you can call the prisoners and be like, I want y'all to do a gang rape on that child murderer, okay? I want you to do that. Because the state's not going to do the right thing and put a bullet in his head. But maybe y'all can make his ass bleed. So, and I get where that comes from. But it would be celebrated with that. There is an ethic to it. Some people would say it would be ethical. It would be ethical. It would be moral. It would be just for someone who's a heinous human being, who is let's say a child rapist or whatever, to get what he deserves. Right? But that's where this is going to. I mean, people don't like to point out that realization, that the truth there, but that is what it is. It's just the same way how it's immoral to kill some people. It's immoral to kill people, but yet at times it is moral to kill people. Times of war. Sometimes when the state has to, execute a prisoner. There are times where you can kill people. And it'll be moral. It'll be ethical. At that point, if it's not ethical, not moral, but satisfying, I would say that if they're getting what they deserve, if you feel like they're getting what they deserve, then maybe you should ask yourself, are you sure that you don't think it would be justified? And you feel like it would be justified, then perhaps it would be moral then. Or at least it would be moral for that heinous person to get that horrible act enacted upon him. Because after all, he's lesser of a human being because of the way he acts towards other human beings, other people in society. He doesn't deserve the same, I guess, the same rights, the same treatment as everybody else. Well, this was a deep topic, and I do apologize for the internet interruption thing here. I'm gonna see if I can play dominoes now with my real life friends. Probably won't stream that one because there's some other people in there, and I don't know how they feel about being on there. But if so, I guess we'll all be there. Okay. Thanks for Courtney to hopping on for a little bit. I think this is within the lines of terms of service. Once again, I have to say, rape is bad. Rape is wrong. Do not do it. But at the same time, you got to ask yourself, if you think it's wrong, think it's bad, why do you want it done on other people if you feel like it's justified? Anyway, with that said, y'all take it easy and have a good one.